I love to learn, and this religion is so enriching to the mind. There's so many things you can do to better your knowledge in Islam. Everything that I've learned about Islam since then has just strengthened that belief in my mind. A veiled Muslim, and I have been a regular, non-believing person, and every command from God is justified. Alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim today. I love being Muslim. I will be Muslim forever, inshallah. I received a comment on one of my other videos. Someone wants to know what information I received that made me interested in Islam. I have an answer for you. I have even took out the notebook that I was taking notes in and all the information that I was learning about Islam. I was writing in here. This was before I had even purchased a Quran. This was when I was still in my educational phase. And I'm still in my educational phase about Islam. There's so much to learn, and I don't think I'll ever finish learning about Islam in my lifetime, ever. And that's the beautiful thing, that's the fun thing. I love to learn, and this religion is so enriching to the mind. There's so many things you can do to better your knowledge in Islam. It's truly a lifelong experience, and you don't get tired of it, and that's one of my favorite things about Islam. The first hurdle I had to get over was the hijab. I began to learn about Islam from, as you guys know if you've seen my videos, a young girl from Pakistan. That's the perfect person to ask about hijab, in my opinion, a woman. In my mind, like many other Americans who have limited knowledge about Islam, I thought that the hijab was something that was forced on women. I knew in my mind there's a possibility that that's not true. There are so many women who wear hijab proudly and beautifully. There has to be some misinformation, I'm sure. I asked her, what is the hijab? How do you wear it? Do you enjoy wearing it? Any question you can think of, I asked her about the hijab. As I was learning about Islam, I thought to myself, okay, if I ever am a Muslim, I think that's going to be the biggest hurdle for me. And it is so funny how that was the smallest hurdle for me. I wouldn't even consider it a hurdle. The day I took my shahada, I went to the masjid, and one of the sisters there, before I took my shahada, she had this basket full of hijabs, and she asked me to pick one. And in my first video on my YouTube channel, and I'll even insert a picture, I picked the green one. Green is my favorite color. Green is beautiful, and I actually really like how that one looks on me. It's still my favorite hijab to this day. From day one of being Muslim, I have been a hijabi. She put that hijab on my head, and I felt like I had a crown placed on me. I can't even begin to express to you how beautiful I felt wearing that, how freeing it is to wear hijab. At least for me, I absolutely love it. The principles of being Muslim and the principles of wearing hijab already were in my heart, and I think that's why it was so easy for me to put on the hijab. And I can't stop smiling because I love the hijab so much. Why are you crying? Sorry, I love Islam so much that when I start proudly speaking about it, I don't know why, just tears. As a woman who's been conventionally attractive my whole life, wore little to no clothing in public before, I've gotten the attention from men. It doesn't do anything for my soul. It doesn't do anything for my heart. How refreshing it is to be completely covered. Never in my life have I felt as beautiful as I do wearing hijab. I can walk into a room and have a conversation with any person and guarantee they're not looking at the way my clothes fit my body. They could be admiring me, but they're not admiring me for the wrong things. I could sit here and talk about hijab for the rest of the video. So I'm going to move on a little bit to the contents of my journal. So without further ado, I'm gonna crack this open and just start talking. I don't really want to show you everything that's in here because, first of all, some of it is wrong. The information provided to me from my friend in Pakistan is not wrong, but the research that I did on my own from the internet is a little iffy, has not ever been confirmed to me as a Muslim, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. The first thing I wrote down was the meaning of Islam, and then I even wrote down the adhan and the meaning of the adhan, what it is, and just the translation in English. Salah times, the different type of salah, which that is accurate. I haven't looked in this in a really long time. This is so cute. This is really cute. The 5 pillars of Islam, that is correct. I'll actually show you this one. This is all about like women in Islam. This is about the hijab. This is a sticker that I had. I drew a niqab on. This was before I was Muslim. This was before I was wearing hijab, but I was like, you know what? Let's cover her. I think that's so cute that I did that. I wrote down everything about women in Islam. I was just doing all my research. I wanted to know everything. I was really interested in knowing what is expected of women in Islam. What are the restrictions for women in Islam? Things that we are expected to do, things that we're expected not to do, things to avoid, things that are sunnah, things that give you good deeds. And it all makes a lot of sense. I've been a veiled Muslim and I have been a regular, non-believing person. And every command from God is justified. Obviously, you don't need me to tell you that, but from experience, I've seen, okay, I know exactly why it was commanded to us to avoid this. I know exactly why it was commanded for us to cover this. I've experienced the negative impact of what it is like to not follow those commands from God. So that's really important to me. It's really validating for me. I just want to say again that before I was Muslim, I did not have religion. I was convinced that I would never be religious. There are religious people, I respect them, but it's not for me. I didn't think I was capable of believing in God. The fact that I have found the truth, alhamdulillah, I feel so lucky. I feel so blessed. I could say alhamdulillah for every second of every day for the rest of my life. If you told me a year ago that this is what I would be doing, this is the way I'd be thinking, I would think that you were crazy. So Sumika would drop in little scientific facts, we all know about them, that were written in the Quran 1500 years ago that we're just now in modern science discovering, and that was mind-blowing to me. How am I going to argue that? How am I going to give an explanation to that? You can't. You cannot. I saw a video a while ago kind of laying out all of the scientific facts in the Quran, and I want to go through them, and maybe I'll make a video about that as well. I don't want to give Islamic knowledge to others when I know so little myself. I think that's not in the best interest of myself. It's very easy to give wrong information when you don't know what you're talking about. So give me a few years. I really am interested in learning things about Islam. I love to take classes. I love to consume Islamic knowledge. So I will get there one day. Inshallah, I will get to the point where I can come on YouTube and I can provide information to others, but I'm not there right now. I've been Muslim for almost 3 months. That is not enough time to acquire the information necessary to give to others. Give me a grace period, give me some time to learn. Inshallah, I will be on YouTube making videos, informing people and spreading more information about Islam, but right now I'm not there. I do have an interest in science. I'm not saying I'm a scientist or anything like that, but I know that science comes with evidence. I'm an evidence-based person, and the fact that it was written in the Quran first before it was even discovered in modern science, that was enough for me. Everything that I've learned about Islam since then has just strengthened that belief in my mind. There's always been something in me that is Muslim. It only took 24 years for me to become Muslim. The values were already so strong in my soul that I feel that if it had been introduced to me at any other point in my life, I definitely would have accepted Islam. Really, the only thing that kept me away from Islam to begin with was my disbelief in religion as a whole. I didn't think I would ever be religious. I had no interest in being religious at all. Also the hijab. I had ideas about it that were completely false, and once those were uncovered, that ended up being one of my most cherished things of Islam. I love to wear my hijab. Every single thing in my life that happened brought me to this point, good or bad. Alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim today. I love being Muslim. I will be Muslim forever, inshallah. Once I started learning about Islam, that was it. The seed was already in my heart. It just needed a little bit of water. Honestly, it needed less than a molecule of H2O for that plant to grow. I was born to be Muslim.